Hey, what's up everyone? It's Chris Winter here for another DSLR tutorial. Now today I'm actually going to give you something a little bit different. It's a little tip on how I structure my folders for video editing. Now if you've ever done any video editing, you'll know that organization is super important. So you know where your files are, so if you drag a video file into another folder and sometimes you can lose it, it can be a real pain. So having your files in the right folders can make a big difference. Now, this is by no means the best way of doing it, it's just the way that I've found it works, and I hope it will work for you. And it's also a cross-platform way of working. So this should work in Premiere, Final Cut, and what I'm going to be using today is ScreenFlow, which is just a screen recording software with a timeline, and it works as well for that. It's just about really having a good file structure. Now, let's get started on this. As you can see on my desktop right here, I have made a folder called Video Template project.zip. Now this is a zipped folder, which means that it's once I click this, there's another folder in here called which is actually called Rebrand Project. It's called Rebrand because I've been rebranding my YouTube page lately, but let's just call it Canon Lens Review. Now this is a folder structure that I've created, and if you want to download it, I'll put a link in the description box below, so make sure to go and download that and you can have the same folder structure as me. If we click it open, you can see that there are a few different folders. There's audio, project file, video, thumbnail, and documents. Now obviously it's all pretty pretty self-explanatory. Audio, you've got music for background music, sound effects for sound effects, and voiceover if you want to bring in some other voiceover files that you've done previously. The next folder is project file. Today I'm using ScreenFlow, so in here I've got a ScreenFlow folder, but you could also have Final Cut Pro, you could have Premiere Pro, you could have an Avid file folder, and essentially what this has got in it is a few template files. So this one here, for instance, is a full HD project file. If I click this open, this has actually got all of the things that I use in all of my videos already pre-done. So all you have to do to start the editing process is click that, rename it, and then you are good to go. And you don't have to drag things in. It's already there and it's already set up, and it just really increases, it speeds up your video editing time, and that's a really good thing. So the next folder I've got is the video folder. Now this is a really important folder. As you can see, graphics, this would be if you have a logo or something that you want to bring in, I always drag it into there so I know where that is. End titles, this is something that I have on YouTube. I have these little videos at the end where people can click and go to another video. I'll show you this.
Hey everyone, me again.
Final delivery is where I'll export all my files. So instead of just exporting everything to the desktop, I export it to, for instance, Full HD, so I know where the export has gone and I'm not going to be losing it. Now, footage is probably the most important folder. This one here is where I offload all of my files off my SD card. They'll go straight into the raw footage, if they're A-roll, B-roll, or interviews. And then from there, once it's backed up, I will transcode all the footage into ProRes. If you want to know about how to transcode to make your video editing a lot faster and easier, I'll show you that. But I put my transcoded files into a transcoded folder, and then I work from there. Now, whenever I edit, that means that I go straight to the transcoded folder and drag those files in instead of the raw files, because the H.264 files are a little bit hard to edit with, so I use the transcoded ones, so I know exactly where they are. So that's why it's important to have a good folder organization. The last two folders are simply thumbnail. This is what I use for when I make my YouTube videos. I've already got a Photoshop file that I just open up, and then I can just quickly change the text in the picture. And then in the last folder, it's just documents, things like scripts, licenses, Creative Commons licenses, royalty-free music licenses, and all that, just so you know you're protected. Now, why should you do all this? Well, it's really, really easy to back up your folder, for instance. So if you look at my desktop right here, If I wanted to back this up onto a hard drive and back up the whole project so I could move this directly to another computer, all I need to do is just take this whole folder right here and move it onto another hard drive, which makes it really, really easy. And if they've got ScreenFlow or Final Cut, they can just drag that onto their desktop and then start working from there. Now, I hope I haven't gone on too far for this, but I really hope that this helped you. It made a big difference to my video editing skills and also speed once I had this folder template up and running. So hopefully you like it. If you do like it, make sure to download it. There will be a link in the description box below, so download it, test it out, change it, do whatever you want. And if you did like this, I would love for you to subscribe if you're not already. I do a lot of tutorials about camera stuff, videography, and of course editing. So make sure to subscribe and leave a thumbs up because it always really helps. And that's that. I'll see you guys later. Bye.